Hey you!
Me?
Yeah, you. Do you want to learn about the American painter Bob Ross?
I'd say no, but I have no choice, right?
No.
Bob Ross was born October 29th, 1942 in Daytona Beach, Florida. His full birth name, given by his parents Ollie and Jack Ross, was Robert Norman Ross.
What a fun way to tell us his parents' name.
Hush, I'm not done! Anyways, while Ross was born on Daytona Beach, his childhood was spent with his brother Jim Ross in Orlando, Florida.
Whoa.
He had a brother?
Yep.
Anyways, because his father was a carpenter, Bob Ross found him spending his time in the workshop. He actually spent more time in the workshop than school, and then he later dropped out in 9th grade to work in the workshop beside his father. Unfortunately, an accident in the workshop cost him the tip of his left index finger. When Ross turned 18 in 1961, he joined the Air Force as a medical records technician. He worked in the Air Force for about 20 years, most of the time spent at an Air Force clinic located near Fairbanks, Alaska. During his time in the Air Force, he found himself receiving a lot of promotions, and eventually he reached the rank Master Sergeant.
Whoa, I thought they yelled.
Well, yeah, but he kinda swore off yelling after he retired from the Air Force, so oof.
Wonderful. How did he start painting?
Well, I'm glad you asked. He started taking classes in his spare time with Bill Alexander to lift strain and make a little extra money. Bill Alexander is actually the person who taught Bob the wet-on-wet technique.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
What is the wet-on-wet technique?
It's where you apply oil paint on top of still wet oil paint instead of waiting for it to dry. Anyways, hey, did you know that the first class he ever took was at a USO club in the early 1960s?
What does USO mean?
USO stands for United States Organizations. It's basically just a private organization providing morale and recreational services to soldiers and families in the U.S. military. Hey, you remember how I said he was stationed in Alaska?
Yeah?
Okay, so it turns out inspiration behind his paintings were from landscapes he'd seen in Alaska, as stated in The Joy of Painting.
Hey, do you happen to know when he retired?
Well, he retired from the Air Force in 1981, and then he just kind of continued taking private lessons with Bill Alexander, then he'd later on surpass him. He technically officially surpassed him when Kowalski, who's a friend and a business partner, offered him the partnership and a promotional deal after a class that Bob Ross led.
When was The Joy of Painting officially aired?
The Joy of Painting officially aired on PBS in 1983, lasting 11 years. The show has more than 400 26-minute episodes. It later ended when he was diagnosed with late-stage lymphoma in late spring 1994. The last episode of The Joy of Painting was aired May 17th.
Well, that's cool.
Oh, who was that one kid that showed up every now and then? Oh, that was his son, Stephen Ross.
Well, did he have any more children?
Yep, including Stephen, he had 3 of them. Their names were Bob Ross, Morgan Ross, and Stephen Ross.
Well, who's his wife?
Which one?
What?
Well, he had 2 wives, Linda Brown and Jane Ross. Jane Ross was his first wife. They married in 1977, who unfortunately died of cancer in 1992. Then he remarried Linda Brown in 1995. Their marriage sadly only lasted less than a year when Bob died of cancer.
Oh, well, can I have good information that's not sad?
Sure, as if I haven't been conveying it all this time. Bob Ross had many fans, and most of those fans took part in a harmless international cult, sharing quotes from him and spreading the gospel that anyone can be an artist. He was also a fixture on at least 275 stations, and had his own company that sold paint kits and instructional books. But despite the devoted fan base and high ratings, he lived a private life with Linda.
Is that all?
Not yet. Ross silently passed from his illness on July 4th, 1995, leaving a Ross-shaped hole in everyone's hearts.
Wow, well, thanks for that information, I guess.
You're welcome, me. Stop talking to yourself in the mirror!